So it's a 2000 Passat wagon, B5, and the problem I'm having is on my Climatronic, I can't make it hot or cold. It has the expensive heating system in it, the one that breaks down all the time, unfortunately. And I have a servo that failed. Well, anyway, I know I have a servo that failed because when I plugged in my $12 eBay servo, this servo worked, and the diagnostics, which are, you can do on here, the diagnostics came back perfect. Then I plugged in the other servo and it was bad. So all I did to get heat for the winter was I cut this servo arm here, and there's an arm that, a lever that touches here to the box. And I was able to push the lever towards heat. We had heat all winter, now it's warm. I want to pull it towards cool, but then I'm thinking, gosh, this should be pretty easy. We're gonna see. Now I can't leave the camera running, it's an iPhone, but what I'll do is I'll show you the aftermath. Maybe I can save you a lot of money. And that red connector is where the servo goes. That red connector connects to the servo. Well, I propose, since this car is not worth all that much anymore, that if I just cut this plastic part of the heating duct out, go in about 3 or 4 inches, I can take that whole servo out. And I'm pretty sure of that because here is another servo that I plugged in, and I know it works fine, and I know that servo is faulty. So save myself $1,000. I'm going to cut a little plastic here, a couple inches here, go back an inch or two, and I should be able to get to the 3 screws that drops that servo out. And I'll let you know later when I start cutting this section out. I'm doing this on an iPhone, so I'm not going to be able to show you while I'm cutting. They want you to remove this whole console, this piece, this. The steering wheel has to drop, the entire gauge cluster has to come out, this has to come out, the entire dash has to come out, there's a metal brace underneath here that has to come out. Disconnect the air conditioning, then you disconnect the hot water, and then you can pull this piece out, which will then allow you to get to the bottom of that. Once this is out in your hand, you can get to the bottom of it. Well, I was able to get to the bottom of it by just removing these bits of plastic. Saved myself $1,000, and I bought 2 of these, so that's about $25. So you can do it. Don't believe what they say. This really wasn't that much. You do have to be a contortionist. You are working in a really tiny area. I mean, I have big hands, but I mean, you're working tiny areas for the screws, and the one that's back here, the screw that's back here is a bitch. But other than that, good luck, guys. Well, there is the servo. Cost $1,000 to take out. I left the connector on there so you can see which one it is. I think my error on this was something like 4F7 or something like that. But anyway, I know it was this that was bad. And here is the, let's see, where's the arm I had to cut? Oh, the arm I had to cut to get heat. I cut this piece of plastic, and then I pushed this arm. Here is the arm that you can push. This way is heat. No, this way is cold, that way is heat. This way is cold, that way is heat. So what I did was, to get heat, I took a pair of nippers, quite possibly these nippers, onto the servo. So I cut this servo arm off just to get me heat. And I could do that just by removing the glove box. And you can go in there with a pair of nippers. So anyway, the tools I needed to do this, I have no idea where to get this, but this is a 5.5 millimeter wrench. I needed that for one. And then I needed a 15, I believe. This is a T15 Torx bit. And this is a ratcheting wrench. I have no clue where I got it. But I had to modify it because I just put basically a popsicle stick. That's actually a fingernail file, because this would constantly fall through. If I didn't have something underneath it to stop this from going through, This way I could turn it. Now I'm gonna have to tape this to the other side when I put it in, but that's my ratchet wrench to get under there. You need to be a contortionist to get under here, but it's $1,000. If you think you think you can do it any cheaper, good luck. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know this, and I'll check back with you when I do the test later. Thanks. Bye. Well, I'm here to report success. Let me shut the car off so it's not so noisy. It's tough to see that. Okay. Here is everything that I used to do the gig. I'm not kidding, it was a $1,000 job, was the estimates. Here is the old servo. No, I guess this is the old servo. Here we go. And this is the arm that I had to cut off so that I could get heat for the winter. I discovered this problem last November. So I literally just cut this arm off, and I was able to push the red arm that was attached to this in the heat position. And then this spring I pulled it back to the cool position. But then I was looking at, here's the red arm that had to be pushed that way. So I cut this little bit of plastic off here, and I removed, this is the new servo already. This connector has to come off. This is the arm that goes to your hot cold flapper. Maybe this will be a better view. Sorry, the jiggles there. And so this is, the passenger's still going to get heat. Drop the camera there. Okay, so here is the new, a second new arm. That was $12. Oh, Volkswagen wanted $250 for a new one. Here is the arm with the piece of plastic that I cut off. Put that away. And here is every bit of plastic that I had to remove. You can see it's not all that much. These are just the pieces of plastic that I had to remove to access. They were stopping this servo arm from dropping. And then here's every tool that I used. A motor tool with a cut-off wheel. That's an abrasive wheel, fiberglass, I guess. That's a T15 Torx bit. And this is just some cheapy ratchet wrench that I found. I never get rid of tools. And this Torx bit was falling through, so I simply took basically a popsicle stick, but this is a fingernail file, and stopped it from falling through so that I could use this as a ratchet. To get the first one off before I did any cutting was a 5.5 millimeter wrench. I have no idea where you're going to get a 5.5 millimeter. This is from, who knows? I have no clue. This, I needed to cut some more of this plastic off, and the tape was just used, you know, around here. So that was it. It's been about 2 hours. Volkswagen wants 10 hours and $1,000 to do this. They want you to remove this whole console, this piece, the steering wheel has to drop, the entire gauge cluster has to come out, this has to come out, the entire dash has to come out, there's a metal brace underneath here that has to come out, disconnect the air conditioning, then you disconnect the hot water, and then you can pull this piece out, which will then allow you to get to the bottom of that. Once this is out in your hand, you can get to the bottom of it. Well, I was able to get to the bottom of it by just removing these bits of plastic. Saved myself $1,000, and I bought 2 of these, so that's about $25. So you can do it. Don't believe what they say. This really wasn't that much. You do have to be a contortionist. You are working in a really tiny area. I mean, I have big hands, but I mean, you're working tiny areas for the screws, and the one that's back here, the screw that's back here is a bitch. But other than that, good luck, guys. You guys at YouTube have taught me so much, I figured I'd give something back. I haven't seen anybody else doing this online, so I just thought I'd throw something out there. At least I could give back to the community. You guys taught me so much. Good luck, guys.